Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
And hello and welcome to episode 183 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers by scale modelers, all about scale models. This show is being brought to you by our latest Patreon supporter, Black Hat Scale Models, aka Stuart Wolf. You too can help support the show, just like Stuart. Simply go to www.patreon.com/onthebench. and pledge any amount from as little as $1 per month upwards. And of course, all of our Patreon supporters receive an OTB sticker. But before we start the show, let's have a word from Scott from SMS Paints.
Hi, I'm Scott, the creator and owner of the Scale Modeler Supply, Australia's largest manufacturer of hobby paints. Our premium airbrush-ready acrylic lacquer paints are designed specifically for use on plastics, with a comprehensive range covering all popular modelling subjects including military, aircraft, rail, auto, sci-fi and more. And not only that, but we also have a wide selection of essential hobby tools and now, infinite colour, and new range of water-based paints for miniatures. So to check out our range and to find your closest retailer, please visit our website at scalemodeler.com.au. So when quality matters, choose SMS Paints.
And hello and welcome to the show. And joining me in the studio, I've got Ian.
G'day Dave, g'day Julian, g'day listeners.
And of course got Julian as well.
Good morning.
How are we, gentlemen?
Pretty good, thank you.
Long time no see.
Yep. I know.
Yeah,
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Wow.
4 weeks.
Yeah, unfortunately you had that big storm that went through and it meant
That was crazy.
That was a doozy, wasn't it?
I know.
That was just like complete, utter horizontal rain at some stages. It was just nuts.
Yeah,
Stuff
just
flying everywhere.
Trees all up. Like, cause when it happened, I was at work and all the trees down the street were falling over.
Yep.
All the
It
trees,
was like a
you know?
mini hurricane.
Yeah, the power went out.
Yep.
We had...
Yeah, well, some people had no power for over a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's shocking.
Yeah. Michelle's parents, their house copped it with a big branch through the roof, and now the entire roof needs to be rebuilt.
Ouch.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yeah, the only thing, my mother lost her lemon tree. It got knocked over.
That's the worst thing.
Yeah, that was in the middle of the yard, so nothing got damaged. It just fell over.
I was super lucky. I didn't have any power outage or anything.
I think I lost power for about 30 seconds, right in the middle of watching a really good thing on Netflix. It's like, come on. And then you got to wait for your modem and all that to start rebooting. Is it going to reboot? Is it going to reboot? And the red light's flashing. Come on, turn green.
Oh, that's such a pain. It really is. Oh, yeah, so I was busy and that's why we couldn't record, unfortunately. But anyway, here we are now and
yes.
We're back. And
with a vengeance.
With a vengeance indeed. And there's quite a bit been going on. But first of all, we come back to the show with some very, very sad news.
Yes.
And that is that the Falcon has decided to hang up his feathers.
Yes.
Hang up his feathers.
After years of sterling service to the show, he's decided that he needs to have a break for a period of time.
Yep. Good on him. And many thanks to him for all his everything he's done.
Oh, I've got to echo that sentiment. He's been, the amount of work that he used to put into sort of researching all that stuff. And I know that he would sit up until 1 in the morning or something like that, because the email would arrive in my inbox on recording day.
Yeah.
And I knew that he'd been at a model club somewhere that previous night. So he used to do a power of work. And we certainly appreciate all the work he has done for the show.
Absolutely.
And he will be missed.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a thankless job,
Oh, we thanked him. We gave him...
we thanked him, but I mean, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. It was.
It's a lot of... if you'd asked me to do that work, I wouldn't do it. I'd tell you to get stuff. I just wouldn't. It's just too much. I mean, I know it was something that he was somewhat passionate about at one point or another, but... because he's always been quite interested in what's coming out. But other than outside of his interest, it was... more of a chore, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, if you ask me, what car models are coming out, it's like, well, maybe I can tell you, but I don't have any interest in what other genres are releasing. Other scales. I don't care about other scales either. You know.
Yeah. It's like me and cars, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh yes,
we'll talk about that later.
I'll make sure you talk about that.
Yes.
But the door's an open microphone here for him, so he knows he's always welcome to come back if in some different capacity.
Yep.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see what the future holds. But adios, Falcon.
Thank
Sayonara.
you. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Yes, and also we're not going to be doing that sort of content.
No, that's right. So it won't be replaced. I was thinking about this, and what we might do is just have a what caught your eye type segment, and we'll just talk about something that we saw that interests us. So.
Yeah, just kits that are noteworthy, worth talking about. Things that are interesting.
And I've got
the highlights.
and I do have something to talk about that in what caught your eye later on as well.
All right,
Cool.
Yeah,
Very
but we're not going to be rattling off lots of.
No.
No, that was the Falcon did the best job of that, and it would be silly
Remiss to try.
Why would we do it poorly?
Well, I wonder if the listeners are now going to be... Well, it gets me off the hook because I don't have to sort of sit here and pronounce all these silly names now and get the pronunciations wrong. And
You'll still get pronunciation.
Oh, yeah.
We still get listener mail, and
That's right. There's still listener
You'll still
mail.
pronounce their names wrong.
And we'll still have fun rubbing it in.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, one of our recent Patreon supporters wrote in about that, so I'll read it out later on because it's quite funny.
Cool.
Especially considering where he lives and what his heritage is. So
Cool.
It's an amusing little email. So.
Oh, can't wait to hear it.
No. So, other news. Look, I've got to touch on the possum war because that's still going on.
Oh, your possum war, yes.
Now, I thought I started off initially with chemical warfare, but called possum rid or something like that. And that didn't work because every time it rains, you go back out and sort of spray it on again. So that was useless. I then had some... decided to use a physical barrier, and I've got these great big spikes. They're like acrylic spikes. They're on about a 1.5 foot long base, and the spikes stand about 9 inches, I guess, in the old metric. So I bought
No, you don't mean Imperial?
Imperial, sorry. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so I'll put them all up on the fence, thinking of one, because I hadn't seen any possums for a while. And then the other night, there was a possum sitting there looking at me. I was like, how did you get there, man? And so I shoot him off and watched him, and he actually walked on top of these damn spikes as if they weren't even there. And to make matters even worse, just last night, how's this for? The damn possum must have known we were recording. I'm laying in bed, it's about 1 in the morning, and suddenly the dogs go, rah, rah, they're going off their tits. What the hell are these guys? I look out the bedroom window, and the possum's sitting there on the fence looking at me through the bedroom window.
He's got your number, mate.
He's mocking you.
Yes.
So I've done some more research, and apparently they don't like mothballs. So I've got to figure out...
Well, yeah, because mothballs are kind of poisonous.
Well, yeah. So you can get mothballs and put them like in a little container. So I've got to go down to the local hardware store after the show and buy some of them and string them up around the fences.
Well, you got a 3D printer. Why don't you 3D print a cat?
Or just buy a damn cat.
No, not a real cat, because they can be annoying.
No, but cats... I
I
used
was thinking you get a 3D printed cat.
Yeah.
It might take you a couple of weeks to print it because it's a pretty decent print, and just mount it on the fence.
You can buy silhouettes like that.
No, don't worry. No, you don't want a silhouette because possum. By the sounds of it, possum's smart enough to figure out that it's going to be a silhouette. But if you got something 3-dimensional,
It'll take you... I think the amount of time it would take to print that would be longer than its usefulness.
If the possum's smart enough to figure out it's a silhouette, it'd be pretty smart to think out just a 3D print. These things are devilishly smart and cunning.
cunning. They're freaking possums, mate.
Yeah, they're smarter than you.
And the thing is, I can't even get the possum guy to come out and lay traps because they live like, I don't know, 300 or 400 metres away from my place in these big trees.
Yeah. The only possum I have is there's in the neighbours, they've got a little gum tree that they've planted right on the other side of my washing line, so now my washing line's useless. But there's this little ringtail that lives in there, and he's no problem.
Ringtails are fine.
But I didn't realise how vocal those things are.
Yeah, but these dudes are chewing my trees and killing my trees. That's why I've got to get rid of them. I mean, I don't mind them being there, but if they leave my
trees alone,
freaking trees alone, God damn it.
Did you think of maybe running a couple of bits of wire across the top of your fence and hooking them up to a car battery?
I thought about that, but there's...
Yeah, that's not legal.
Australia has man trap laws. You can't have...
Oh, but it's a possum trap. It's not a man trap.
I don't know, dude. Because the only power I could hook it up to is the house power, which is 240 volts.
That's why I said a car battery.
No, that's only 12 volts. Then you got to recharge the car battery.
So?
I don't know. I'll see how the chemical warfare goes.
All right.
I'll report back next fortnight.
So the drama continues.
How's your modelling been?
Actually, it's been really good. I finished my Hermes ground to air rocket, and I'm just about ready to lay paint on the Chinese version of the V2.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Dong something, I don't know.
So do you still
immaturity just kicked in?
Do you still have to paint it with the black and white and stuff?
No, the dong you can.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. No.
The V2.
Keep it clean, Ian. Keep it clean.
The Chinese version of the V2.
Yeah.
You can paint it overall silver, or you can paint it olive drab.
Olive drab. Okay.
But I've already got another ICBM that I painted olive drab, so I think I'm going to go for overall silver because I haven't got one of them yet. So it's 70-second scale. I think Kentucky Dave actually built one of these, so he'll be most impressed that I'm doing the same one.
Okay.
So, yeah. Anyway, that's what are you laughing at?
Nothing. I'm just trying to bring my maturity level back up.
What about you, Julian? What have you been doing?
So the Moosaroo.
The Moosaroo.
Yeah, the Moosaroo.
We got 1 week to go.
Yeah, I know. A week's fine.
Plus, you got to take all your photos and all
submit
your
them.
glamour shots.
Oh no, taking photos takes a very long time. Yeah,
it does actually.
Well, it's not like I have to.
Especially when you're a crappy photographer like me, it takes a very long time.
Well, so basically, I posted up some photos of at the end of my construction phase.
Yep.
So what I did is I basically built like a little, styrene box with some rounded off corners, and I used my cutter to make the windows.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of very thin.
They came out good.
Yeah.
You know which one really impressed me?
What?
The Michael's one.
Michael Basket.
Yeah, how he made it like a Hot Wheels. Was that him that did the Hot Wheels box? That was really, really clever. Especially the red rims around the tyres.
Dude, you got to be on Team OTB. We get to lift Julian up. Come on.
Oh, of course, yeah. But I was just going to mention that I really was impressed with that one. That was quite a clever idea.
It was.
Yes.
But Julian's is going to rock.
No, it's probably not going to, but
it will rock.
It'll be all right.
Yeah.
I doubt it'll win because everyone's going pulling out all the stops for their weathered pieces,
Mm-hmm. Yours going to be weathered or not?
No, of course not.
Yeah. Good boy.
Mine's going to be nice and shiny.
Good.
What colour are you going? Like an aqua?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's just sort of like a bright blue.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna put some. I do have some white, stripe decals and things that I could put on it.
Pinstriping, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'm not too sure. Maybe not. Hard to say. In any case, so what I've done so far is I painted up the windows so I can just easily mask them over and then paint the rest of it blue. But what I did is I wasn't sure how I could mask those windows because they were sort of it's like masking any window, right? But I could use the designs that I've already used to cut out the windows themselves to make a mask. But I thought, I can't be bothered doing that. I've got some of the liquid mask. Mm-hmm. It's the Mr. Hobby brand stuff. So it's Masking Sol R.
Oh yeah, that one. Yep.
Masking Sol R. That's the best. That's the best stuff. I did my research, and and by research I mean I asked someone who's already done all the stuff for me. Has already sussed out all the various products on the market, and yeah, it's pretty good because I have used one other before. It was the
Humbrol stuff.
No, not the Humbrol stuff. The Micromark stuff.
Oh, right, yes.
That stuff's garbage. That's no good. I already tried it. I had to, layer it up, and it was sort of going weird. Because like any liquid, you put it on, and then it sort of, I don't know, as it dries, it sort of goes down. It shrinks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff just wasn't any good. Whereas the masking style stuff, it reduces, but it still retains like a smooth film kind of thing, rather than sort of like this weird, bubbly, plasticky thing that's all funny shaped. The way I would explain it is if you left like super glue to dry, like when you left it and it's wet, it's all nice and smooth, and then once it's dry, it's all sort of craggly looking.
Yes,
it's like that. Whereas this masking style stuff, it dries smooth and like a film.
Oh, cool.
That's really good stuff. So I basically just and the best thing is when you're applying it, it'll only stay where you've moved it, right? So you can get I'll just use like a spatula kind of puttying tool, and I'll just move it into the corners of where I need it, and then I know it won't flow past that point.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's really useful. Really useful. I'm glad I got into it from building car models.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I just put a droplet in the window, and then I just pushed it up until it got to the edges, and then left it. Came back this morning, and I was like, yeah, look how clean that is. The cleanest masking.
Very cool.
At this point, if I had to do a plane again, I would almost consider doing that instead of cutting a mask.
Yeah.
The only problem is that because it's a liquid and it levels off and stuff, it wouldn't be so good for convex shapes.
Yeah.
Like rounded shapes.
Yeah, because it'd tend to drag itself down to the lowest point.
Yeah, but for any flat surface, totally easy.
Cool.
Very cool.
Very impressed.
I don't think there's many people who really use liquid mask much.
No, I'm trying to think the last time I used it.
Exactly.
But
I think it's one of those tools where as long as you've got the best version of it, which is what I'm using, you'll find places to use it in places where you didn't think you would need or want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting.
Very good. All right.
Yeah. So I just got to paint it blue and then do some polishing and things like that, and it'll come together pretty quickly.
I'll get your finger out, sunshine.
I reckon I could get most of it done by today, and then finishing touches tomorrow. If I really push myself, but
yes.
I know I won't because I'm procrastinating.
You're just procrastinating.
Yeah, because as I call this model, I call it the Mojo Destroyer 3000.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yes.
I just got no enthusiasm. I've got all these car kits sitting out there going, wouldn't you rather build me? I'm like, yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Well, that leads us into another discussion about car kits. So, if you recall, we had a sort of group build challenge thing where we're all going to build a car.
Still have.
Well, it runs out in April 30th.
No, it doesn't.
April 30th finishes.
No, Julie and I had a talk while you were out. Because the XBGT was just not worth working on. It was just such a bad kit. And
That resin kit that you started, yeah.
Now it's basically landfill somewhere.
It went into the Well of Tears.
Yeah, I kept the globe wheels because
Right.
that was about the only thing I thought could be handy in future builds.
Yep.
The kit I want to build to replace it isn't due out, I've been told, till mid-month, which means we'll probably won't see it in the hobby shops.
It's a Ford GT?
Yeah, it's the 1970s XY GT Falcon.
Yep.
So I've got to wait for that because that's going to be my build. So I'm just going to wait for that to come out. So we're going to extend it.
How long is the group build going to be extended to?
Until I finish the GT.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. I mean, that's the car that you want to build. And you were always going to build like a Ford type thing, right?
Well, either a Ford or a Mopar.
Yeah.
And meanwhile,
Dave can then build his Foose.
Well, I can't because...
Did you throw it away, did you? Did you get rid of it?
Julian, you tell him.
What did he do?
He donated it to the club for the raffle
You're
thing
going
or
to get
whatever.
another
it is.
one now.
Yeah, you'll just have to buy another one.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't.
no, look at that. No.
Look at, you should see his face, guys.
I just couldn't bring myself to build the Foose, the pickup Foose.
Why'd you buy it?
Because it looked pretty and shiny on the shelf, and I thought, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then, nah.
You need to get something like a curbside kit.
Well,
Because with the curbside kit, you got, basic interior, no engine.
Every kit's a curbside kit if you just glue it all shut.
yeah. But now I'm thinking about like a Formula 3 car or something like that. Or
Yeah.
an early Formula 1 car. That'd probably get my juices flowing.
What, you mean like
something like a Brabham?
Yes.
In that nice green and yellow.
the green,
The green and goldy yellow, yeah.
Oh, that'd do me.
There you
I've got
go.
to find something like that.
Yeah, you can get Brabhams.
There's that, very well-known Honda kit, the one with like the cigar-shaped Formula 1 cars.
Oh, the one has that got the Hinamaru on the front?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
It's a very well-known kit. You usually see them at every model expo.
I call them the Ocker.
Oh, yeah, it's very similar to one. Yeah.
It's like a Formula 1 version of the Ocker.
So what's the name of it?
It's a
It's
Tamiya kit.
It's a Honda, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tamiya Honda.
Yeah, Honda Formula 1, I think it was.
Yeah, that one.
Ah, that one there. Yeah.
Yeah, very well-known kit.
And I'm pretty sure Tamiya also does the... Did they do the Brabham as well?
No, I think it might be Ebro who does a Brabham.
Because I know they did two kits. They did that and they did another one. But there you go, Dave. You could build that.
Yeah, I could. Only $55 at Frontline Hobbies.
It's a kit that's been around a while, but it's not like it lacks in anything.
The motorcycles don't count, do they?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Well, I'll
Otherwise, I would have built mine already.
go and buy another kit.
Really? You'd build a motorbike?
I've got one to build. I've got that little... I think it's a Triumph, that little World War One Triumph.
Well, I've built a Zundup, so
The Zundup.
yeah.
Yeah, so Ebro do a Brabham one.
How much are they?
Well, it's out of stock, so I'm not too sure. But it's that kit there.
Yeah.
And it's a
Yeah,
120
yeah.
scale, which is
Same scale,
smaller
is it?
than that one.
No, well, that's
Well, that's
120.
Oh, that one's
as well.
120. So, so they've also got the 112 scale one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I'll
Spend some money. You didn't get out of it, Dave, because I'm still keen.
All right.
It's just, for me, it's just a matter of waiting for the
Well,
actual kit
for
to
our
hit.
listeners, and most of the listeners who sort of participated in it have already built theirs.
Yeah. Well, a couple of them built two kits.
I've only got a little bit left to go on mine.
I'm pretty sure, who was it? Zal Hass.
Sal House has built about 4 or 6
Yeah,
of them.
he's gone. He
Oh,
really
man,
got up to
very
which is good to see.
industrious.
Yes. Yes, he's a very prolific.
Prolific.
Yeah, that's the word. I've daved it out. Model order.
Oh, gosh. All right. All right. So how about we have a look at what the listener mailbox has to say?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Dave.
Sure.
We'll be right back. All right, so we're back with listener mail. Of course, don't forget, if you want to write into us, simply send us an email to onthebench64@gmail.com. We love hearing what you've got to say. And our first mail comes from Frank Blanton. He says, cheers, fellas. Enjoyed listening to episode 181. As I am a third of the way through, I had to stop and message in to share my thoughts and a few pictures regarding the workbench. I agree with the point made about the voluminous paint racks and other items that eat up bench space. I downsized my operation to a rather small desk with a custom cut desk glass top, which is great for paint drips, and you can just wipe it up straight away.
Yeah, I use glass too on my desk.
I also have 2 of those fancy wood storage modules from Hobby Zone stacked in the centre with a tool caddy, very useful, sitting on top. Flanking those, I found these plastic desktop drawers at www.liveinbox.com. And he's actually posted a picture of them, and I can just try to get the picture up now. And these little drawers there, I think, is what he's talking about. And they look really cool. So I only store what paints I use very frequently, and the rest are a few steps away in the cabinet. I mostly model 35th scale, so I have a limited bench space and like to keep it tidy. God, you should see my desk. In fact, I use a small lint roller to round up all the styrene shavings. Oh, my God. I don't go that far.
I bought one of those little mini vacs, little palm ones that fit in your palm of your hand.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a great little thing.
Yeah, I know. I've been using mine so much. So much.
And it'd be amazing how many, like, if you lose a very small part, you just use that on the bench and then you just open it up and go, oh, there's a bit I couldn't find that was sitting right in front of me.
You know what? I would go as far as to say that almost everyone needs one of those things.
Yeah.
I would go
little desk, well, they call it like desk vacuum.
I'd just wipe it off the desk into my hand and chuck it straight in the bin.
No. Trust me. Get one of those things. Game changer, dude.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Because it'll get rid of everything. It gets rid of dust. Gets rid of shavings. Gets rid of those little sprue
Nubs.
Yeah, the little round ones that like you get a million of when you do a dragon kit.
Eat up on the floor and you stand on them. And you
like ant Lego.
Super useful.
Anyway, that's from Frank Blanton from RVA Studio, Scale Model Studio, Richmond, Virginia, USA.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's and I like your bench setup. Looks good.
Bench setup looks really cool. And just need to shout out to Raf Morrissey. Your decals arrived for my SR71 NASA. So thanks very much, mate. They arrived safe and sound and with no damage. That's awesome. And I hope that you have received the little gift that I sent you. So cheers for that. Ray Davis, good friend of the show.
Hey, good old Ray, yep.
Hi there, Dave, Ian and Julian. I sincerely hope that you and the listeners are all doing well and getting some well-earned time at your benches. Just finished listening to episode 182 and really enjoyed hearing what Andy Klein had to say. Dave, Ian and Julian, you guys really hit a home run with this interview. It also got me thinking when one of the listeners mentioned the 139th scale Wright Flyer from Monogram. I'm sure that I had that kit one time, and after searching through my whole stash, sure enough, tucked away in the very back of a cupboard in the garage, there it was. The box is definitely a little worse for wear, but surprisingly all the parts are there. Including a painted figure of Wilbur Wright and also the price sticker on the box from when I bought it from Hobbyco when they were a mid-city centre in Sydney. Maybe I'll post some work in progress photos when I start the build. Anyway, take care and enjoy your time. Kindest regards from the crazy kook from the northern border, Ray Davis.
Well, that box definitely has been mangled.
Yeah, it certainly has. And we'll be hearing a little bit more about what Ray's
it looks
up
like
to
someone
later
sat on it.
as well. Yeah. So Henning Reisch wrote in sometime, became one of our Patreon supporters back in early January. And I sent him a thank you note. And he wrote back and he said, thank you for your great show. I enjoyed it immensely while messing up my models. My story is pretty much the same as most stories. Did some modelling when I was a young fella, read in the 80s. And since I'm a car guy and work in aviation, I bought some models from time to time that I somehow had a personal connection with to build them after retirement. When my girlfriend asked me why I just didn't start yet, I explained that I would like to do it right and would need tons of stuff like an airbrush. So my next birthday, I got an airbrush.
Oh, cool.
For everything that happened afterwards, she's the one to blame. Being German...
She sounds like a keeper.
Yes. Wait for this. Being German, my favourite part of the show is the new model section. Dave butchering every German word known to man and Ian trying to help but just messing it up in another way. Me sitting at home and trying to guess what you guys are talking about. Absolutely hilarious. So please keep coming. You're really having a positive impact on my life. Thank you so much, Henning. Well, Henning, as you would have heard earlier on in the show, unfortunately the Falcon has retired. So no more mangling German.
Oh, don't worry. There'll
be the occasional.
You'll still get to do it.
Yeah, it's not like model companies have stopped producing German things, so you'll still be able to do that.
Yeah, all right. Last email comes from Eugene Suda, who writes, hello, Dave and Julian. I have a question for the OTB crew. I sprayed a model ship hull in a grey primer. It's one of those multimedia kits. I just sanded it down, but how do you get rid of all the sanding dust from the hull? The superstructure, the funnel, and the PE are all off. Do I use alcohol or just blow it off or tack it with a cloth or something? See you in the Nationals. That's Eugene from the IPMS McKinstry chapter.
Well, I would say you should get the Tamiya anti-static brush for dusting.
Or what I would say is, remember those old camera cleaning brushes with a little air pump in them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got one of them. Those things are really handy. Because the bristles are so soft. So plus, so you're brushing and blowing air at the same time. I think you both missed the point. So what he said is he's sprayed the hull in grey primer, and he's just sanded it down. So he wants to get rid of all the sanding dust from the hull. Oh, in that case, if it's on the hull, I just
and he hasn't put any superstructure on, or the PE hasn't been put on yet. So
yeah, I just wipe it off with one of those tack cloths.
Oh, I'd just stick it under a tap as well. You could do that with a little light brush and just.
Well, it depends. What is it? Acrylic lacquer or undercoat, or
it's just the undercoat? Yeah.
Oh,
grey primer spray.
Yeah,
as long as
you just wash it.
Yeah,
wash it and dry it.
Washing it is fine, especially if you're going to paint over the top of it.
Yeah.
Wash it and use a very soft brush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the only thing that would stop you from washing is if there's anything that's fragile on it that you might catch when you're trying to.
Well, he's already said he's taken off all the photo etch and funnels.
Well, hasn't put it on yet.
Yeah. So if it was just a bare hole with some super.
But like if you're doing sanding and stuff like that, I mean, if you got like when I was doing that little box that I'm doing for the Moosery Cup, I was cutting a lot of styrene, and that stuff just sticks like with static to everything.
It sticks to everything. Yeah.
It sticks to the side of the saw. It sticks to the bloody product. It sticks to my table. It sticks to everything, and. You know, with that anti-static brush, it just kills all the static and then things just fall off.
Yeah.
Or if Eugene's feeling particularly brave, he could test out a couple of, do some experimentation. He could put it in his washing machine. Or better yet,
washing machine.
Or better yet, a dishwasher.
Yeah. Like, great idea, Dave. Yeah, let's make this poor guy destroy his kit.
Mind you, I have no responsibility for any damage that may be occurred by trying these experiments.
Zane and Julian say just don't listen to him.
Another thing you could do is use the airbrush to just blow
it off.
Shoot some compressed air at it. That's a pretty good way.
Yep. I'm especially when I'm doing my rocket builds, I tend to do the wet sanding method.
Always wet sand,
and that reduces a lot of that dust.
Wet sanding's great for that.
But I'll do wet sanding under a running tap.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nah, just keep a rag handy.
No. I do it.
And then once I've finished, I'll wash it.
So, and I find because you're constantly getting that water that's sort of flowing through, it's continually cleaning it. Also, it's helping with the what's the word for it? Because I add soap as well when I'm
it makes it slippery when you're sanding.
Yeah. And you get much better result.
Yeah, and you don't get the balling on your sandpaper.
That's right. Yes,
which causes scratches and gouges.
Exactly right. And it's quite interesting because I do it under running tap, and I don't know if you get the same results when you don't use if you just have a wet sand, but you'll have a look at the sandpaper afterwards, and it's clean as. There's nothing on it. Yeah. It's amazing.
So when I do wet sand, I usually have like a little rag that's already damp.
Right.
So once I've sanded a bit, I just use that damp rag and just give it a wipe over, and that takes rid of the sanding scum. And then you get your kit and you angle it. So you try and catch the light to see if there's any. Yeah. But one of my favourite ones is like if I'm doing like a first prep, is painted undercoat, usually a grey, and then I'll give it like a haze of black over the top. So when I'm wet sanding, it'll show all the highs and lows.
Yeah. So I'll dry sand up to about 800 grit, and then I'll wet sand from 800 grit up to 1200.
Not really. I just use wet sand the whole time.
What?
Yeah.
Are you building car models or what?
No, I'm doing rockets.
Jeez.
You've got to knock that.
You know, you've got all the skills to make car models, right? You realise this. Like, all these things are basically like the equivalent of polishing clear coats.
Oh, there you go. You don't, bang on, wait. You don't polish clear coat with 800 grit.
No.
Surely.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
But 1200, that's the starting sort of area.
Yeah. So I'm using, I'm getting my numbers wrong. But I'm around, my final thing is around 6,000 to 8,000 grit.
6,000? Wow.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things where you just
Like a polishing cloth almost.
it is a cloth,
Yeah.
and that's why I use water. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why you get such shiny finishes.
Yeah,
That's right.
but like when you're actually doing it, and then you wipe all the water away,
Yep.
right, so that you can check your work.
Yep.
You can actually see the differences in sheen because
Yes.
essentially you're sanding like what's an orange peel surface, right?
Yep.
And you'll see area. It'll almost look like a mesh
Yep.
in a lot of cases where you've taken the high spots off, and there's still some of those sort of dipped, those concave surfaces that are still glossy, shiny. So once it looks uniformal, you've done as much as you can do with that level of grit.
Try wet sanding out there, gents. It will change your life.
Definitely.
It really will. All right, well, that's it from Listener Mail. Short and sweet. We're looking forward to a big bag next week. So send it through what I said.
We've got to do something controversial for that. To get a big bag.
Well, I just did. I told them to put his model in the dishwasher.
Yeah. Stupid. Stupid.
On the bench 64@gmail.com. All right, guys, let's have a quick break and we'll be back with more of the show. All right, and replacing where the Falcon used to sit, we have now What Caught My Eye. And first cab off the rank is from KLP Publishing. Kevin has sent us a bit of a snippet from what's happening in KLP Publishing's world. And there's been not one, but 2 new digital book releases. The first one is a build guide covering the Trumpeter 132nd P47D Razorback kit entitled, oddly enough, Building the Trumpeter P47D Razorback in 32nd scale. 319 pages, all for a grand total of $18 Australian dollars.
That's so cheap, isn't it?
Cheap at twice the price. The second build guide that's been released is Building the Airfix Sea King HU.5 in 148 scale by Jeff Coughlin. This is a 187-page ebook, which includes 80 walk-around images, all for a mere $15 Australian dollars.
Wow.
They've also just begun working on the next title in their Modeller's Monograph series entitled Chevron and Cross Camouflage Paints and Camouflage Schemes of the Royal Hungarian Air Force.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
So stay tuned for that one, and as soon as Kevin's got some information, he'll release that for us.
He does. These books are fantastic. Got a heap of them myself.
Absolutely.
Isn't it crazy? Like that pricing. You're basically doing the equivalent of buying a big, thick book
Yeah.
for the cost of a
100%.
magazine.
Yeah.
100%.
And unlike a book, I've always been a proponent for paper books, but with his books, it's great, especially for modelling, because you can get on a page, and if you want to look at it better, you just enlarge it.
You zoom in on it.
Yeah. And the images are so clear. And
And if you've got an iPad, you can take it with you wherever you go. So, it's just ideal. In other exciting news, coming from our good friend at Horizon Models, the Atlas Agena in 72nd scale is now available for pre-order.
Ooh, you ordered yours yet, Dave?
Yes and yes.
Yeah. Yes and yes.
Well, Tony's actually sending me one to have a look at, but I'm going to have to buy another one because I want to build a couple of different versions. So the kits will be shipped from mid-March 2024. So for more information on that, simply go to horizon-models.com and check out what's happening. And I'm very excited for this new release. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I'm just hanging for it. I really am.
Another one for your collection.
Another one for my growing rocket farm.
Yes.
Yes, this is really exciting. In other news, now I did.
Oh, hang on. We're still going on about what's new.
What's caught our eye? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now somebody did send me some information on a model show that's coming up, but I've misplaced it.
Oh, Dave.
So, and I know that our next show will be recorded in time to actually announce it. So.
Is it a local one? Or?
No, it was over in the US somewhere, and mea culpa for losing that. But if you could just send it in to me again at onthebench64@gmail.com, I'll definitely read it out. But let's also not forget that coming up on April the 21st, we have the Ballarat Scale Model Exhibition Display, including a swap and sell, which is Sunday the 21st of April 2024. It's going to be held at the Eastwood Leisure Centre, 20 Eastwood Street, Ballarat. Entry is $5 children $2 and family $10. All profits go to Make a Wish Australia Foundation. So we're going to pop up to that one.
Yes,
It's,
looking forward to it.
Only a couple of hours away, so we're really excited about that. And of course, Ian, you got two things you need to talk about. First of all, tell us about the books you got there from Evermore Publishing.
Yes. I'll just put my glasses on so I can actually read the titles. That's a good thing about growing old, guys. Okay, so I recently, actually 2 days ago, picked up the latest 2 volumes of Pacific Profiles, so Volume 12 and Volume 13 by Michael John Claringbold. Volume 12 is Allied Fighters, P-51 and F-6 Mustangs, New Guinea and the Philippines, 44 to 45. Lots of really good information, ton of profiles, so yeah, that really piqued my interest. Second one was Volume 13, which is Imperial Japanese Bombers, Transports and Flying Boats and Miscellaneous Types, South Pacific 1942 to 44. Also, these books are so well researched.
Yeah. Well, we've had Michael John on Claringbold on the show once before.
Yeah, and the guy's very knowledgeable, knows his stuff.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good one. And also picked up Volume 2 of The Solomon's Air War by Michael Claringbold and Peter Ingham, which is, it's going to be a fantastic read. So I think I started Volume 1, so I'll hook into Volume 1 and then finish this one off. Very, very good.
And
very well recommended.
And they not only talk about the different. So the book I'm looking at the moment is Volume 12, which is Allied Fighters,
the Mustangs
P-51,
one,
the F-6 Mustang series, New Guinea and the Philippines, 44 to 45. Not only do they talk about what happened in there, but they also have these fantastic colour plates and call-outs, like all the different nose art from the different squadrons and air groups. They talk about the different squadrons and where they were and what missions they flew. But from a modeller's point of view, just the colour plates alone is just such fantastic sort of reference stuff for you. So if you're a historian or if you're a model builder, either way, these are just fantastic books for you to have in your library.
Totally agree.
I've got a couple of their books, and so I can't recommend having more books more highly because they're really, really, really up there.
Yeah. Like I've got every one of the Pacific Profiles now so far.
Yeah.
So as soon as
about 13, 14 books?
Well, it's 13, Volume 13, so that's the latest one.
And I just picked up one of their books. It was about the A4 Skyhawk in Australian Navy service.
Oh, yeah,
which is very interesting sort of read.
Yeah, they've got a good range of books.
They do.
There's some very interesting. One of the ones I want to get, I think it's. I'm trying to remember what the title is, but it's basically about the biggest United States Army Air Force losses in the Pacific due to weather.
Right.
Well, they lost a hell of a lot of aircraft, and it's a book on that.
I wonder if they're going to be doing a series. We've got to get him back on the show again because he's just, fantastic to listen to. I wonder if they're going to do a series on the air campaign over Japan because that would be really super interesting. Yeah. It really
wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, I'll have to reach out to
I've got a ton of his books. Absolute ton of them.
Julian, anything caught your eye?
Yes. So there's the new Great Wall Hobby A10.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's making some. Well, not making some waves, but I mean it's on the way.
First new A10 that's been out since
48 scale.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I think a lot of people will get quite into that until they see how big it is, and they'll be like, "Well, this is a bit."
Oh, it's not that big.
Its wingspan is like the size of like a 32nd scale plane.
They're big planes.
Yeah, it's big. It's a big plane. And the other thing that caught specifically my eye is that Hasegawa are releasing the fastback Celica, the 1970s Celica.
All right,
the one that looks like a miniature Mustang,
the classic version.
Mustang fastback. Yeah. So it's got the similar tail lights, to like a modern Mustang with the 3 sort of vertical stripe things.
I must admit, when I was a teenager or a young man, I lusted after having a Celica. I think everybody wanted the Celica because they were such.
Not me.
Well, okay, because you're.
Yes, we know.
Yes, but Celica really caught your eye, didn't it? And it looks good on the road.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I actually like it more or less than the coupe version?
Oh, this is a 4-door version, is it?
No. This is also a 2-door version, but it's
Right.
the fastback, so it's got like that
gotcha.
long
Yeah, yes,
sloping
yes,
back.
yes,
They
yes,
call it a
yes.
lift back or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the one that looks like a miniature Mustang,
Yeah.
whereas the other one doesn't.
Yep. Yeah, another one that caught my eye was something I saw our good friend Chris Meddings post on himself on Facebook, and that's a company called Parasol, and they're bringing out some,
Parasol miniatures? is
Yes,
it?
they're from Vietnam, and they're bringing out some Japanese figures.
What's going on?
Are they from
35th?
Vietnam, are they?
Well, yeah, it says on the boxing here, made in Vietnam.
Okay.
So,
that explains why they got so much Vietnam War stuff in their catalogue. Like, their entire catalogue's nothing but Vietnam War stuff.
Yeah, so they're bringing out an IJA officer riding a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we? An IJA figure with horse and cannon, which is that one really interested me. Sort of a horse that's got like a cannon strapped to the back of it, where they're transporting a cannon. And they're bringing an IJA pack horse with figure as well.
What's the cannon? What war is that from?
Second World War.
Oh, okay. Right.
So yeah, it's just to me being an interest of the Pacific War.
Yeah.
There's just there's just not enough figures out there.
See, I'm a bit torn on Parasol sort of stuff because on one hand, in this day and age where you can get sort of like really nice figures from Tamiya that are like 3D scans of humans, their stuff is like sculpted and it's not the most amazing. Like compared to Alpine or something like that, they're not great.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, unless you're the kind of person who has the skills to cut limbs and repurpose them and sculpt extra bits and pieces onto them and modify figures, they're the only game you'll ever have for a lot of like Vietnam and Asian sort of theatre figures. Because a lot of companies will try to do the shortcut thing where they just take miniatures of Westerners, Europeans and Americans and stuff, and they'll just go, we'll just change the
uniform,
the hat and the uniform or something like that, and it doesn't look the same.
Yeah, it reminds me of
people with different stature, different build.
I can't remember what company it is, but they do different scale World War II US Navy flight carrier crew and deckhands, and you look at their 3D scans or CAD images, and they're all Chinese.
Right.
All wearing the American gear. It's just really bizarre. It's like, you guys definitely took a shortcut on that one.
All right. Okay, so let's dive into
next weekend.
Well, what we really wanted to talk about this show, and that's the 48-hour Model Officers Mess birthday bash, Models for Heroes. And Ian, you're leading the Aussie contingent this year.
Well, not leading. I'm involved. We've got myself, John Marley, Ray Davies, Callum from
Micro Machines podcast,
is going to be with us as well. So that's us four, and plus probably a few other people popping their heads in now and then. Well, starts at 7:30 Australia time.
On what dates?
Friday the 8th.
Friday the 8th. Yes. No. Yes. Friday the 8th.
Yep. It finishes on the 10th.
Yep.
At 7:30 at night. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to have like a small auction. So far, we've got some nice kits coming. So what's the premise of the 48-hour build? So what if people want to join in, what do they need to do, and what's the whole purpose of it? And
how
the
do
whole
you do
purpose is we're raising money for Models for Heroes.
Yep.
Which is a very good cause. It's for return service personnel and first responders, helping them with their problems they're having. It's been going for about 3 years now, if not a bit longer.
I think 3 years now. Yeah.
It's a great event. It's live streamed. So we've got like an Australian contingent, we've got a European contingent, and an American contingent. So
what there is
shopping between them, and
so there's leading luminaries within the model hobby, such as yourself.
I'm not a luminary.
And a couple of other guys who sort of assist and lead the conversation. When it's in the Australian time zone.
Yeah.
So you kick it off on Friday night.
Yes.
There's yourself, and as you said, there's 3 others who are helping you.
Yep.
And then people can then join in and sit and watch you guys.
Yeah, watch
talk.
us, and they can discuss with us and
Yep.
send us messages and photos and so forth, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And so the idea is 48 and 48. So you choose
it's
a 48
normally
scale.
it's always been 48 scale kit in
Yep.
48 hours, but
Yep.
this time it's build a kit in 48 hours.
Okay, cool. That's excellent.
So it's been mainly run. Well, the main person I'm dealing with is James Skiffins.
Yep. From our podcast
Yep.
in the UK.
Yep. So him and a few other guys are really taking it
Yep.
the bat and just really made a lot of home runs with this.
And his co-host over there, Malcolm Child, is obviously heavily involved with the charity Models for Heroes.
Yeah.
And so the idea is you just buy a kit or
Yep.
grab one from your stash, and you just sit there and join in, and you build this kit from start to finish over
Yep.
a 48-hour period.
Yep. When 48 hours is over and you haven't finished, well, too bad.
Yeah. But
That's why I tell people,
yes,
don't get something like a twin-engine bomber or something.
Yeah.
Something that's way too complicated. Buy a basic kit. Like my basic kit. This is my 3rd year. First year was doing the Tamiya Komatsu bulldozer in 48 scale.
Yeah.
Which was a great little kit. It was small enough that I managed to get it done and managed to do a base for it, a jungle base. Second one, last year I did a US fuel truck from Tamiya in 48 scale. Even had enough time to build a base for that.
Who was that crazy Kiwi last year who built that great big kit? What was it? He was building. Was it a helicopter he was building?
Yeah, I think
or
it was building a Chinook.
Chinook. That's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy New Zealander.
Yes. Yes. So this time I'm building a Yokosuka flying bomb. The Oka, but not the rocket powered one.
Right.
The
Okay.
jet powered one. That's the one they've got at the Smithsonian.
What scale?
48
Yeah. If
From
you said me second, you would have got me interested.
from Bren Gun.
Yeah.
The reason I'm building it, 1 sprue.
Well, yes. And having just finished a Bren Gun model, they're not bad.
Oh, this one's I'm gonna be spending a few hours just sanding the plastic.
Yeah.
Because the plastic's it's like pebbly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it needs a good sand and cleaning up but I want to put a figure in it and this time.
The whole purpose is to raise funds for Models for Heroes,
Yeah.
and that's achieved by there's auctions as well, isn't there?
and you can donate. We're going to be having a donate page pop up and so forth.
And tell me about the auction. So obviously there's local businesses within Australia that have contributed
Yep,
kits.
they're contributing kits
and other modelling related products.
Yep, like Metro's on board. That's one I can mention.
Yep. And so these pop up on the screen. The auctions run, people bid for them.
Correct.
And obviously all the profits go to Models for Heroes.
Yeah. All I can say, I'm not mentioning which kit Metro is donating, but I can tell you that is going to be extremely popular.
Oh, okay. Within Australia and New Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll. I think there'll be a bit of a bidding war on this one.
Okay. And of course, you can donate. I think last year they raised $10,000 for Models for Heroes, which is a fantastic sort of outcome. And it's a lot of fun.
It is. Look, it's
You have a
48
ball,
hours.
don't you?
And
Yeah.
look, luckily for us here, it finishes on the 10th, and the 11th is a public holiday. So at least I'll be able to have a good sleep in the following morning. Not have to worry about going to work with no sleep. But no, look, I've enjoyed the last 2 years, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to this next weekend. So yeah, just keep your eyes on our Facebook page, and we'll have more details coming up as they appear.
Yeah.
Considering we're going to be showing the time zones for when Australia's on, Europe's on, America's on. Should be on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
So join up, donate. It's all for a great cause. These people have done a lot for us, and so it's about time we gave back to them.
There's a couple of videos that are out, and I'll post another one on our page as well. There's a model off the YouTube channel, which is going to be all live streamed from. But this year there's going to be an all-new community with a new Discord channel, which is going to be managed by Friends of Hobbies for Heroes IPMS group.
Yep.
We can hang out and everyone can build along over the 48 hours. There's, as we mentioned already, the fantastic auctions that are going to be available as well, with some crazy prices that they go for.
Oh yeah, some of the stuff that you can buy, like kits that you normally you'd probably spend a sixth of what you normally pay for, and you're getting like a high quality new kit.
Well, unfortunately for me, it's Michelle's birthday that weekend, and it happens to be a milestone birthday. I
Don't say that. You get slapped.
Yeah, but you don't. I didn't say which milestone it was. Mm-hmm. So it's a milestone birthday, and I'll be able to sort of pop in now and again. But
yeah, you should do. Same as you, Julian. You should just pop your head in. Say hello.
I'll probably forget though.
You'll probably forget.
Yeah.
I'll send you a text. I'll send you a text.
Yeah.
Oh, you're really overestimating my ability to pay attention to things.
I don't think that's lost on the listeners.
You don't think? Yeah, every now and then a friend will send, like, one of my friends will send me, it's like, we haven't seen your face for a while. Come over here. I'm like, oh, that's right. I have to go. I should go over there. Say hello.
Yes. But yeah, like I said, do so, guys.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Ian, for taking up the cudgel this year and
expect to see you next year, Dave.
Yes. But
don't attempt something too big like you did last time.
I did the P47.
You tried to do a
natural metal finish.
Yeah. You're not going to get that done in 48 hours.
Well, I got close to it, except
you stuffed it up.
What tripped me up was I got a big glue thumbprint on the side of it.
Yeah.
And I sanded the heck out of it, but once I put the natural metal finish over the top, or the paint, the thumbprint lifted back up again.
Yeah.
So that model ended up in the well of tears. Yeah.
It's a shame, yeah. So next time, pick something a little bit more basic that you know you're going to be able to finish.
Well...
Like a car, yeah.
Yes.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Seriously, that Foos thing that you have, perfect. You just hose that thing down with gloss black and call it a day. There's nothing else you can do with it.
So be there or be square for the 48-hour Modeller's Bash, birthday bash. Is it Modeller's birthday? Yeah, it's a birthday bash. Yeah,
birthday
cool.
bash, yes.
All right, cool. All right, looking forward to a full report, Ian. Back from you on our next show.
Yes.
See how you're going to go.
Yes. Well, I'm confident I'll at least get the plane finished, but what I've got planned for the base is going to be, it's going to be a tricky one.
Oh, you're going to do the base at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, very good.
And the good thing about it is I've actually seen this actual aircraft in real life.
All right.
Oh, okay.
That's the one they got at NASM.
NASM?
Yeah, National Air and Space Museum.
What?
Yeah, when we went over to the States.
Yeah, but geez, there were like hundreds there to choose from.
Well, there was only one Ocker.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
NASM? You don't mean the Udvar Hazy?
Udvar Hazy, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not the rocket power one; it's the jet powered one, the prototype, which that wasn't used in operations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember seeing that there.
Me neither.
I got photos on my phone.
I'm going to have a look now. You have to show me the photos.
I don't think I took that many photos.
Yeah,
I did. I took hundreds of photos.
I took a lot of photos, but
I took a ton of photos.
I didn't take a photo of every single thing, especially not when you guys are also taking photos and I'm just standing there next to you. It's like
that's an interesting thing. Remember the P51, the P38 Lightning they had there?
Yeah,
I read somewhere. I don't know how true it is, but apparently that was the plane that Richard Bong used for when he came back to the States.
The one that didn't shoot, wasn't in the
the one that was still left in its original condition.
Okay. Oh, right, all right. Oh, well, we'll have to wait, and I'm sure somebody will write in and tell us somebody's more educated than you or I.
Yep. Very, very true.
That's the P38
Lightning
F. It's not a J version, right? It's the olive drab one, is right?
Yeah.
It's olive drab, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool plane to look at.
Oh, it is, yeah, because it shows all the original weathering and everything on it.
Well, I think it's also all the weathering since.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, like if you were to make a plane that looks like that, it wouldn't look right for a wartime plane.
Yes.
But it's still really cool to look at because it is original paint.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So, for example, there's like areas where the paint has come off over the flush rivets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because obviously those areas would experience stresses and things like that. So the little paint's chipped off of those rivet heads, and it's very cool to look at.
Oh, you mean the Japanese one?
Well, what else is an Ocker? There's only one nation built the Ocker.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking of the Natter.
Oh, Natter.
I had Natter confused with Ocker in my head. That's
Completely different country, Dave.
a completely different country. Same stupid idea, almost, kind of.
Well,
Australia.
the Natter was designed to split in half once they were finished using it, so the pilot could fall back with his parachute. Whereas the Ocker was designed that you rode it to the end.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. I do remember it vaguely being there because there was like only one section of it was all Japanese aircraft, right?
Yeah.
In various states.
So the the Key 45, which really surprised me how small that fuselage is. That thing's tiny for a twin engine aircraft.
Yeah, I know.
And the Big George, that's a big plane. There's something you just don't expect the Japanese to have in the Second World War. Such an aircraft that's almost the same size as a P-47 Thunderbolt.
Yeah, it's a big
I
aircraft.
love the George.
Yeah, me too. I reckon the George is a lovely looking aircraft.
All right, let's bring it on home. Gents.
Bring it on home.
Yes. So, next week you're busy with 48 Hour Bash.
Yep.
Julian's doing whatever Julian does.
Yes.
Finishing up,
busy.
basically getting the Mooseroo all finished up.
Yes. And don't forget to post on the Mooseroo Cup page as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know.
Well,
Yeah.
what?
No, I mean, yeah, I understand. I'll be doing like some updates and things. Yeah. There's not that much left to do. I mean, I'm going to paint it.
There's
and
not
polish
that much time left either.
it. Yes, I know that, but also I don't have as much to do.
Who's in the hot seat next year? It's your turn, isn't it?
No, it's you.
It's me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How many Mooseroo Cups have you built?
I want to say...
You built one.
Oh, yeah.
I've built two.
Oh, yeah. You've built... This is your second one, too, because you built that silly helicopter thing.
Yeah, you built the flattener.
The silly helicopter thing.
The flattener.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So it's your
this is
turn,
my
Dave, next year.
Oh, okay. All right.
I won that on a technicality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because basically the other one was just as difficult to build as my one, and I managed to get mine across the line with the rotor assembly. What a diabolical way to build
You know,
it.
it's sitting in my model case and it's slowly falling apart. Bits are falling off it without me even looking at it. Just look at it.
It's
bits
not
fall
like
off
I build things so that they fall apart either.
I know,
I glue the crap out of things,
That's
right?
why I'm surprised. It just sits there and it's slowly falling apart. It's
slowly shed
disintegrating.
bits.
It's shedding bits of plastic as it gets older.
Well, I mean, like the part that I was always concerned about was the rotor assembly, right? I was always expecting that to just sort of snap in two. But it's still there, isn't it?
It's still there, yeah.
Yep. Very true.
I'm sure it's like, like a full half circle now. It's drooped that much.
Yes. And before we go, I'd like to have a little shout out to Callum and the guys from Micro Machines. They had
yes, you're on their show.
Yeah, they had
recently.
me on not long ago, so a bit of a
I
weird being on the other side of the microphone.
I listened to that actually. It was a great little show.
Yeah, it was a great bunch of guys. Great way they set up their show. We'll have like a questionnaire for you, and that was great. So kudos, guys, and thanks for having me on your show.
I just have something I forgot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was I was printing some stuff for Ian on my 3D printer.
And what were you printing for me?
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Anyway, what happened was a print failed, and there's a point where you got to remove whatever's still left at the bottom of the vat. Mm-hmm. So you sort of use the settings on the 3D printer to flash a whole layer off, and then you can peel that off, right? So you got a nice clean surface.
Yep.
The problem is I did that when it still had too much resin in the vat, and some of it, when I was trying to get under it with my plastic tool to get underneath it and peel it off, it splashed some of the resin up onto the thread, the vertical thread.
Yep.
For the Z-axis, and that's now stuffed up my printer.
Oh.
I thought I cleaned it all up, but there must have been some trace amounts or whatever it is, and now
it's just jammed up, is it?
It's jammed in the bottom, in the downward position.
Oh, so you got to pull it all apart and.
Well, first I got to scoop out resin that's in the way, because there's obviously still got like a full vat of resin in there with the displacement
So would there be? That means there'd probably be a chance that some of the UV light would be on the bottom that would be maybe leaked.
No, because like there's what's
Leaked
called
into
the
what was-
the FEP, right? It's just like a thin layer of plastic that forms the bottom of the vat
Yep.
and allows the light through. So there's that keeping the resin from actually touching the screen,
Yes.
right?
But I'm just thinking how.
But I can't
because
empty-
it sounds to me like the resin's cured on the thread.
Possibly, or it's gummed it up.
Yeah.
Either way, I probably need to.
Pull it apart,
Yeah.
regrease it.
Yes.
But as you'll see, we were chatting about it earlier, and Julian came up with a great idea. Why don't they have that exposed thread on the other side of the pole?
Of the tower.
Yeah. It's like having it so close, and with that hole, any spillages, of course it's gonna. It's like works like a drain. It's just gonna go straight into the guts of the machine. That's something they.
Well,
If they put it on the other side,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you're not going to have that problem.
It depends on how you want to design like a 3D printer, but basically, most machines that have like a Z-axis, like CNC machines and mills and things like that, they all have one of those accordion type things on the front.
Yeah.
So that metal chips or whatever it is that material you're working in doesn't go onto the working parts of the machine and screw it up.
Hey, there's probably maybe a little modification you can make yourself.
Well, I'm surprised that no one has designed some kind of like telescoping sort of shutter that will just
Watch it now.
shield.
Now that you've mentioned it, bet you they're going to come out. People
Probably find a rubber boot that you could just.
Yeah,
buy
but you
off the
need something
shelf
really
and-
long though, because it's pretty tall.
Yeah,
It's
you
talking
could probably find
a
some.
bit over a foot tall, isn't it?
something like
Not-
that. It'd be maybe a bit less than a foot, but it would need to compress down to something less than
Yeah.
less than 5 centimeters or something along those lines. It could also be that there's resin on whatever the sensor is that detects where the Z-axis is.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, you got to pull it apart, dude, and refix that thing.
Yeah.
So I can get my Godzilla.
But see, it's all sitting in the dark and it's all got the cover over it. So whatever resin is there
Isn't going to go off.
nothing's. It's not it's all going to go hard and I'm going to have to chisel it all apart or anything.
Wouldn't that be a nightmare?
I'll tell you what, the exothermic reaction of that resin is pretty something. I've had a smear of the stuff on the outside of a glove that I'm wearing, and then I walked outdoors, and the moment direct sunlight has hit it, I can feel the heat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gee, that's interesting.
That is very interesting.
Make sure you don't get it on bits you don't want to get too
Yeah,
hot.
so a safety precaution, wear gloves.
All right, okay, let's bring it home. And don't forget, if you want to find out about all the other wonderful podcasts that are out there, simply go to modelpodcast.com, which is run and hosted by our good friend Stuart from Scale Model Podcast. There you'll find all the other fantastic podcasts to listen to, including Model Insanity, Models from Ukraine, Small Subjects, Plastic Posse Podcast, Scale Model Podcast, the Micro Machines Podcast, AM Show, and Model Bjerga Podden, which is a Swedish podcast. Spree Cutters Union, Built Sideways, Just Making Conversation, and the Model Geeks, and of course, last but not least, Plastic Model Mojo. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back in a fortnight.
Bye.